Hi, little birds. Okay, I'm going to try to address this without getting angry, which will be very hard because somebody already triggered me, and this is why I'm putting out this video, because it just irks me. It's just like, really, people? Okay. So, what we are talking about today is going to be feminism. Feminism and being transgender. And I don't think the two contradict each other. I don't think they invalidate each other. But there are a certain sect of feminists, because I won't say the women, because there's men also in feminism. And for those that say that there's no men, go look at history pictures. There was men that walked in the feminist marches when it originally started. There was men in there. So, for those that say, oh, men aren't involved in it, excuse me, but procreation requires men and women, so therefore you cannot have feminists if you didn't have men, and vice versa. And so, and then you get to being a transgender person, and most of their arguments are, oh, you're just a man that declared he was a woman. Okay, there are men that do this just so they can get a break, so that they can, whatever it may be. There was a case that I recently read in England where he declared himself a woman just so he could get a break on his car insurance, because he had several speeding tickets, accidents and stuff, and his insurance was going up. Well, that's totally on you. You have no right to invalidate my experience and what I'm going through as a trans woman, an actual trans woman, and say I'm a woman. Because the legal system has not recognized the difference. And the legal system really needs to catch up, because in my view, it may not be everybody's view, to be transgender, you change yourself somehow. Even if you are non-binary, gender fluid, or whatever term that you use, you change how you dress. You change your name sometimes. You might go by different titles. You change things. You don't necessarily take the hormones. You don't necessarily go through the surgeries. But you do go through some kind of process of transitioning. And so this groups you in with, as a whole, the transgender group. And feminism always brings this out. Oh, you're just a man that has just declared themselves. Like, no. I've gone to psychologists, I've gone to my doctors, and they have also said, you know what, we can see, there's a pattern, there was a pattern in your life that defines you as this. Not that I was going, hallelujah, that's me. No, I was not. And every transgender person will tell you this is not how it works. Most of us identify from a very early on that, either we were different or, my upbringing, I didn't know what to call it. I knew I felt different. I knew I connected with everybody different. And I couldn't explain it. I didn't know the words. I didn't know what it was. So for me, because of how I grew up, I was never exposed. I was barely exposed to gays and lesbians, yet alone a transgender person. So it was, very much a light bulb went on when I, found a term, and I, discovered, those other people like me. So for feminism to try to invalidate me and say, you aren't valid, you aren't a woman. Fine, I'm not a natural born woman. I can't contest that. I can't argue with that. Yes, I am not. But my experiences still tell me, and my heart and mind and soul still tells me that I am. And for anybody to question that and say, you are not, you're just a crazy boy, it's just infuriating. And they wonder why so many transgender people get angry with him. It's because we know deep down and can feel it to our core that we were born different. We were supposed to be born this way. Now, one interesting thing that was brought to my attention I've never thought about, what about past lives? What if you were a woman in a past life? Well, that's an interesting concept, which I don't believe in past lives. That's not my thing. I don't believe in that. But if you do, that would make a lot of sense for a lot of us, because you have this inside of you. Maybe you lived 12 lives as a woman, and all of a sudden you're thrust into being a man or a woman, and you're like, wait, this is not me. This is not who I'm supposed to be. But I truly believe that feminism and transgenderism, transsexualism, whatever term you want to use, can coincide and can help each other. I don't try to invalidate women. I'm not trying to be like, you know what, you guys don't matter, you know what? But because I always had the dream of having a child come out of me and being able to nurse that child. That was a dream of mine. And because I don't have the proper parts, equipment, I will never be able to experience that. So, am I jealous of natural born women? Absolutely. But it's not to the extent that I hate on them because of it. I really value, that, hey, you've gotten to live this way your entire life. And I'm just now getting able to be there and be myself. And too many times people want to put you down because you're different. And I've noticed this throughout my life, and because I lived in the South, and we had quite a few different ethnicities and races that were in the South, and each one of them we just picked on each other, not at each other. It was so frustrating in junior high and high school. It's like, why can't we just get along? We're all students. We're all going through the same thing. Why do we have to, take the social norms that are out there? We don't. You know what? Let's make our society different. Let's make our society better, where we accept a person no matter how they are and how they may be. This is what we need to start bringing together. And true feminism, I think, really brings this, is that they gather everybody as allies and brings them together and says, hey, you know what? There is a problem with income disparity between men versus women. There is a disparity with people saying women aren't knowledgeable. Trust me, I have been through it. I have had it already. I've had men come to me and be like, oh, do you know anything about this paint? Do you know anything about this lawnmower? It's like, really, dude? Like, my gender does not necessarily ingrain me or not ingrain me with knowledge that I may receive. We can all receive knowledge above and beyond, something that what society deems that our gender may be. You know what? We're not in the 1940s, 1950s where women sit in the home and cook and clean and vacuum and make everything great for the man. That doesn't exist anymore. We're not going back to that. Women are going through college. Women are getting jobs. They are doing things that traditionally men have said, you can't do that. And you know what? It's empowering. And I love when I connect with a feminist that, doesn't put me down, but acknowledges my own experience and what I've been through. And they don't go away. Look, there's women that are born without vaginas, or the parts that other women have. And for them to say, you must have a vagina to be a woman, that must be aggravating to them as well, because you know what? It's a very rare condition, but it does happen. I have seen it on YouTube. I have seen it on the news where she goes in to find out why she can't get pregnant, and they're like, well, you don't have any tubes, you don't have a uterus. And it's like, what? So they live their life until they try to have a child and find out, I don't have the parts. What do you mean? So for you to say you have to have these parts or these things is really, really narrow-minded view of a box. Again, you're lumping people in a box. And I say we break that box. We need to break the boxes. Just get rid of the boxes. And yes, am I saying we should have a non-binary world? Absolutely. How much easier would that be? You could express yourself however you felt, however you wanted, without people coming behind you and bashing you and saying, you're insane. What are you doing? So, I think feminism and being a transgender person can go hand in hand. And we can help each other's causes and advocate for each other. Now, if you exclude me and say, you can't be involved, then guess what? I'm going to become an enemy. I'm going to become someone that does not back your movement, that doesn't agree with your movement, because you don't accept me just because I was born differently. So, that is my take on it. I know I may not be 100% right. I know my opinions are my own, and take it or leave it. I'm sorry. It's how I see things. So, if you like this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, give me comments, questions, concerns, I don't know, whatever you may feel like. And, keep sharing my videos if you really like them. Be like, hey friend, here's a new YouTuber I just found. So, be your authentic selves, and I will see you later. Bye.